evening, everyone. Welcome to IndustPro 4.0 Workshop 2, Unveiling the Journey, proudly presented by the IEEE Computer Society Student Branch Chapter of IIT. Before we begin, a huge thank you to our title partner, TWC Innovations, for supporting this initiative. Your collaboration helps us bring industry professionals and valuable career guidance to students. And now, we will be sharing a promotional video from TWC Innovations. Let's take a moment to learn more about our incredible partner.
Creativity meets innovation. At TWC Innovations, we don't just follow trends, we create them. Explore endless possibilities with us as we fuse technology, business, and creativity to shape the future. Our ventures. Sales Suite products. Sales Suite is the key to efficient corporate communication and business process management. With Scheduler, Omnicom, SFA, and Review Craze, businesses can streamline operations, enhance sales performance, and improve customer engagement. Remote teams. Expand your team beyond borders. Hire top-tier experts from Sri Lanka and build your offshore dream team with TWC Remote Teams. Research and development. Our research-driven technology solutions help businesses stay ahead, transforming ideas into reality through continuous innovation. Why choose TWC? With a track record of success, we've helped businesses achieve a 100% increase in performance, serving many clients globally and locally and engaging over 50,000 monthly users. At TWC, we cultivate an open, innovation-driven culture where your creativity fuels success. We believe in continuous growth, offering competitive compensation, hybrid work settings, and professional development. Join the future with TWC. The future of technology is now. Let's build it together. Follow us and explore how we redefine possibilities. Visit twcinnovations.com.
I'm Nihana, your moderator for today's event, and I'm thrilled to have you all here. Today marks Workshop 2 of our exciting series, where we will dive deep into building a strong portfolio and gain valuable insights to master internship interviews while aligning with employer expectations. Throughout the session, we encourage you to ask questions. Simply scan the QR code displayed on your screen and submit your queries. We will address them during the live Q&A session, so don't miss this opportunity to gain great industry insights. And now, let's welcome our incredible speaker who will be sharing his knowledge and experiences with us today. Mr. Navinder Disanayaka, Senior Software Engineer at TWC Innovation.
Hello everyone, I hope I'm audible.
Very audible.
All right, let me start the presentation. Can everyone share see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. Thank you. All right, everyone. So in today's session, first I want to thank you guys for the introduction and everything you guys did. So in today's session, I will be focusing on building your portfolio for your software engineering career. So this is really important when you guys want to land a good internship or a new position in the industry. So during this session, I encourage you guys to ask questions, and I will try to answer them while I'm doing the presentation, and there will be a Q&A session at the end. So you guys can wait for that, or you guys can start posting questions. All right. As for a brief introduction, in this session, I will be talking about creating professional profiles across various networks and building impactful projects. And the one of the biggest concerns a lot of you guys have, like where to find project ideas and how to get like good at building things. And a lot of common mistakes we see in CVs and when we interview people, and how to present your portfolio effectively in a way that's impressive for someone who is reviewing it. So before everything, let's talk about why a portfolio matters. So this is the one of the most important questions. So beyond your education and your job experience, the portfolio is the only way your employer can evaluate you. So we can show, like we can see what skills you have beyond whatever you learned in your university or did. So you can show your practical skills. You can differentiate yourself from other candidate very easily if your portfolio is really strong, and you can show real world experience through projects. So sometimes even if you don't have any prior experience, you might land a really good offer as a software engineer or associate software engineer if you have a really strong portfolio without going through that intern phase. So that's why it's really important for you to focus on this. So before I talk about how to build the portfolio, I will tell you guys where to showcase it. Like once you are done with the portfolio or when you want to start building it, the most obvious thing you can do as a software engineer or computer science graduate or even a data science student is that create a GitHub profile. Most of you probably will have a profile as a part of your university modules. And the second one, especially if you're a software engineering student and you're working on full stack, you can use CodePen, which is a great place for you to showcase your work. And then when you, like, let's say, work on some really cool idea and build a really cool project, you want to share it, LinkedIn is like a really good place for you to get some attraction and get really smart people to engage with you, get their suggestions and share. Also, you can network, you can increase your network, talk with new people, and get a lot of opportunities. So other than that, one of the easiest things you guys can do to get yourself ahead of others is start blogging. So there are two ways to do this for free now. You can use dev.to or Medium, or you can create your own blog in a different platform like Blogger. Doesn't really matter as long as you document what you work on. Let's say you are working on a new software project. You can document your journey, the stuff you learn, or things like that. So if you feel like doing entirely on your own, like building something from scratch, you can create a personal website. You can pick a framework or technology of your choice or something you're good at, and you can use it to showcase your work. You can have your blog there, whatever works for you, but have something that showcase you can actually do the thing you're studying. So finally, we have lead code and hacker rank. These are algorithmic problems. Especially, these are really important for some interviews if you want to showcase your problem solving ability. So these are the things you want to focus on. And by the way, all of these links are clickable. And I will be sharing this presentation after the session on TWC LinkedIn page. So it's TWC Innovations on LinkedIn. And you guys can tag it and give your feedback. Or if you have any further questions after the session, you can ask there as well. So all right, let's move on to the next part about how to actually create your portfolio. Now, when you are creating a portfolio, like your profile, first thing you want to focus is having like a single profile across all platforms. You will see this a lot, especially in social media. So there are developers who have a username or a stage name. They will use it on every platform. So it doesn't have to be a real name, but use a consistent username on your GitHub, LinkedIn, let's say any other social network you have where you post about your work and your improvements. So then the second thing, a profile picture. Sometimes we look at like a LinkedIn profiles without any pictures, or so we can't get a clear idea if this is a real person or a bot. So that's really important. So have a professional photo in your profiles, and in your bio, just have a small summarization, not everything. Like don't write like an essay there. Just have your expertise. So for instance, you can say I'm working on microservices. I'm interested in microservices with Java. That's my expertise. So that's what I'm interested in, and I'm currently learning this thing. So uh, these three things are really important. So this is not just for GitHub. So any platform, anywhere you create your profiles. And when you create these profiles, you usually want to link those. So in your CVs, in your website, or in your social media. So have your GitHub link, LinkedIn, personal website, your Medium blog, your professional contact emails. I know some of you guys have like custom domains with your website. So always link those anywhere you showcase your work. And especially on GitHub, so it has like a default sorting, right? So when you push a lot of projects, sometimes projects that aren't that good, like not relevant, will show up on top in your front page. So pin the project you want to highlight. You can pin up to, I think, 6 projects now. So, and keep it updated. So there's a feature on GitHub where you can have a README and use that. So you can use Markdown and document anything you want. So another thing related to especially software engineering portfolios, I want to like especially emphasize like focus on impactful projects instead of many small ones. So for instance, a lot of you guys create your GitHub or whatever the platforms during your university times. And you guys push all the university assignments and everything to your GitHub, and it becomes like a just a bunch of small scripts in hundreds of repositories. So it's not going to show your skill. So have impactful projects and document everything like in the README, in your code, and the employees, when they look at your GitHub and profiles, they look for depth, not just variety. So focus on that and showcase your work that solves real world problems and your problem solving skills, not just the theory you learn in your universities. And if possible, going back to a previous point I had, your GitHub username, use something that's not your university ID, like your index number. So this is something very common we see in CVs. So do that because then, because when you use something like that, we know instantly, okay, you're only creating your GitHub because you had to do it for the university. So that's really important. And speaking of README files, let's say you create a project, something like a web application or your data science project, you always have a README that says, okay, this is the project name. The purpose of this project is this. So I'm solving this problem, and I use these technologies, and this is how you can run it. And have screenshots and demos, because if someone goes to your GitHub repository and they can't, if they don't have time to run the project, or they don't have time to go through the code and understand what you guys are doing, it's really important for them to see, like, okay, this is a project about, let's say, AI, or this is a project about generating something. So that's really important. And the reason why the project purpose is important to be there is because that way your employees can see, okay, this guy is actually trying to solve a problem, not just copy some Udemy course or something like that. And another important point. Now, I'm sure you guys use AI for coding, especially with Cursor and SED and other AI editors. You can generate entire projects, including READMEs, code, and like everything. So don't do that when you want to showcase your own work, because it's really easy to detect, like, if the code is generated by AI or you're following some Udemy course or something like that. So when you want to pin, like, especially pin repositories to show your best work, do you use like a well-structured way, like your commit messages? Sometimes people commit like, okay, add file 1, add file 2, add file 3. Use proper version controlling, learn how to use it. If like on your personal time, watch some Git tutorials and see how Git is being used in the industry, and do it well, so that when someone look at it, they can say, okay, these guys know how to use Git, and they're managing their repositories really well, and the code is really clean. So this is really important. So there are different architectures. I'm pretty sure you guys learn in the universities as well. You can have clean code, and based on the technologies you use, there are recommended ways you can do it. So focus on those really well. Now let's come to the biggest question a lot of you guys have, and I also, like, when talking with some of my friends, they ask, like, okay, where do I find project ideas? Because I don't have really good ideas to create good projects. So how do I find these? So there are curated lists available online. These are just some examples, but these are really good. Like, if you want to learn something really deep, like, let's say, building something like a Redis, it's a database, uh, something like that from scratch to learn how it works. So you can use these repositories. Especially project-based learning is really good. So if this is like, if you Google it, it's a GitHub repository that documents how you can learn through building projects, and build your own X, which is excellent, because it says that, like, let's say you want to build like something like a Twitter to learn how all the distributed architecture working. You can use this, and you can see, okay, how can I build that from scratch? How can I learn it? And then you can add your own flavor on top of it, and maybe host it. And when you publish your work in GitHub, you can link it. Okay, this is deployed on some service, because when you are in university, you get access to a lot of cloud services for free, like AWS, GCP. You can get credit, so you can host your own projects. And there's also awesome project ideas, which is like which is a very bare bone compared to other two, but you can use this to find really good ideas. And then front-end Menta is really good if you're focusing on UI UX. This is mostly for UI UX. If your target is back-end development or anything of that sort, this is not going to be very useful. So coming back to 2 points I talked about earlier, it's like you can identify everyday problems you have in the university. It could be that you can improve your LMS better, or transportation, or things like that. You can focus on areas you see every day and build projects and build solutions that people actually want to use. So let's say for instance, what we see, like, very common in a lot of CVs is that people build like a lot of CRUD apps from following some YouTube tutorial or either ChatGPT or things like that. It's just a CRUD application that doesn't like solve any problem. So let's say like to-do manager, because there are so many apps like that already out there, especially open source ones. So that's pretty important. So other than that, you can find like social causes, like social issues and things like that. You can try to solve those. And especially if you don't want to do any of these stuff, like in real life, you can do open source contributions. Now, this is something a lot of people find pretty scary. Like when they're starting out, they think, okay, I won't be able to contribute to open source. But in GitHub, if you go to uh, so so before that, let me explain why it's important. So if you start contributing to open source, you can actually gain real world experience without being employed. So while in university, you can learn, okay, how GitHub works, how code quality management works, how linters work, how do people actually review code, so things like that. So you can get mentorship from experienced developers, and you can build like connections, credibility. So when employee comes to a GitHub profile, okay, this guy is contributing to let's say something like Kubernetes. So any other open source project you that accepts public contributions, like SED or even VS Code. So when you want to start, go to a platform like Good First Issue. So you can Google this, or once I share the presentation, you can click on the hyperlink. So you can you can go to this platform and you can find like hundreds of projects in a language you're comfortable. It doesn't have to be like a Java, C, C++, things like that. It can be anything you're good at or you're interested in learning, because you can learn languages and advanced programming while working on these projects. So join one of these websites and have it bookmarked and find projects that align with your interest. Like if you're interested in distributed computing, cloud, or AI even, there are a lot of AI projects going on these days, AI agents. So you can focus on these and start contributing, or actually building your own and get other people to contribute. So that's also a really good way for you to improve your portfolio and showcase your work. So now that I have explained some of the things, let me see if you have any questions. All right. Okay, let me go to the next slide. So next I will talk about common mistakes to avoid in CVs, actually CVs in your portfolios when presenting your work. So one of the most common thing is blindly following tutorials. So people go to YouTube or something like that, and they see like, okay, there's a tutorial on how to build a Netflix clone, and they copy everything word to word without anything, like without learning anything. So if you ask like a question about the project they built during an interview, they won't usually answer. So when you are following a tutorial or using a resource, always make sure to learn like all the technologies you're using. So that's pretty important. So and customize it. Like you don't have to follow the tutorial as it is. You can create like your own version of it. So always prioritize completing project, because a lot of you guys have like hundreds of maybe projects, like small projects that haven't completed or haven't gone anywhere in your GitHub, so websites. So focus on finishing it and presenting it properly. And when you use AI, be prepared to explain what this code does, because sometimes the AI will generate code that won't be any help to you, but it gets the job done. And there could be some logical errors, but you won't see it because you don't understand the code. So always be ready to explain. Like when you generate something from AI, always read through it and see you 100% understand the code. So next thing is the poor documentation. So a lot of projects don't have any documentation, comments, commit messages, or structure. So do it really well. I mentioned this before as well. So meaningful commit messages and things like that are really important. And forking projects. This is something we see sometimes in GitHub profiles. So they just fork popular repositories. They don't contribute. They just fork as much as possible. They fork other repositories to fill up their GitHub. So there's no use in doing this. So don't just fork. So if you are forking, you can maintain your own version of that fork. You can contribute to the original project. You can keep the flow going. So that's really important. So uh, when you want to present your portfolio in a CV, it's really important that you highlight only the key projects. So let's say for one of your university modules, you created like a some small lab or something like that, and you have a really interesting project you worked on in your GitHub. And it's more like complicated and it has more moving parts. So put that first and always emphasize the descriptions, key technologies, and the impact your project has. What problem this is solving. So you can actually use numbers. So you can say, okay, before this project, it took this amount of time to do this task, but now it's 50% faster, 60% faster. So always use percentages and numbers like that for the problems you're solving. Right. So, and this is something a lot of people don't do. Like they wait until the last minute or your internship period for this. So before you're preparing to learn a technology or create projects, it's important that you have idea what sort of role you're aiming for. If you have a company you want to apply for, that's really good. But if you want to have like let's say a full stack developer, you need to have a clear goal of what I'm going to study. A great way to do that is you can create a list of companies you're interested in working and go through their LinkedIn and their websites and find out what tech stack they're using, what problems they do, like they solve. They do have any open source projects. Like in their LinkedIn, check their job postings, their company engineering blogs, because a lot of companies have blogs that they explain, okay, we are doing this way. That's why our architecture is better. So things like that. So always learn the tech that's relevant because sometimes, like for instance, you can learn a language like a Lua. It's really interesting, but you won't find many job opportunities for that language. So always focus on the companies and the tech stack, like especially where we apply. It depends on the country, it depends on the company, it depends on like the various regions. So you have to be very thorough in your research. So do this when you want to showcase your projects in your series. So this is becoming more relevant than ever because we are still in the very start of like a new period where people are starting to use things like AI agents. So this is really important. So always follow developer blogs because if someone asks you like have you worked with AI agents, do you know how to develop one, something like that, during like a social media or during an interview, you can say, oh, I haven't, but I have read about it and I think I can pull it off. So you can do dev.to and medium blogs. You can do TLDR, JavaScript Weekly, and there's dev. IO, and also you can attend tech conferences and webinars like this to stay up to date. So this is really important if you want to like get yourself highlight before everyone else or in a CV. And it's better if you can have like at least one project showcasing the latest tech. So I briefly mentioned this before, but I'm sure even in universities you guys have sessions on AI and AI trends. So we have a huge AI boom going on right now. So we have AI agents, things like MCP servers. So MCP servers are taking off, things like Cursor. So learn about these things, at least read about them, and learn AI assisted development, not 100% AI based development. Use things like Copilot, ChatGPT, how they work, understand their limitations. Because most of the time, when people say, okay, developers will get replaced, they're talking about the developers who don't use the AI tools because if like a couple of years ago, if it took 5 hours to get something done, sometimes now we can do it within like two hours because researching things and finding issues and things like that are becoming easier than ever. So learn about AI agents, things LangChain, OpenAI Assistance API, and we have now Versal SDK, and there are new serverless platforms and edge computing platforms in the wild, like Cloudflare Workers, Versal Edge Functions. So stay up to date with the trends and learn where this is going, which will be important when you want to land a good offers. So another thing a lot of people don't do is keep their CVs up to date. Now, the issue is that you might create a CV during your university journey for like an internship, and then you don't usually update it with your new projects, or you don't remove outdated projects. So sometimes we get like CVs, we open their repositories. Sometimes the repositories are not available, or the websites are dead. So remove outdated projects. If you have existing projects in your GitHub or whatever in your personal sites that are not documented properly, or like that's poorly listed, so revamp those like before applying to a job. So update your portfolios and keep everything up to date. So engaging with the developer community is also something that I want to touch on, because there are different ways you can do this. So you can do this actually with your real profile or anonymously. There are dev.t or the community where people share their developer thoughts, and there are hash node where you can create blogs, and a lot of Reddit communities and Discord communities are there for coding, especially coding these days. Like if you like web development, you can join a server on Discord server that has a lot of people that interested in the same field, and you can attend hackathons and coding meetups, either online or physically. So, and Twitter and LinkedIn is also becoming really popular to engage with the community, because there are a lot of people, like really good developers on Twitter, offering their techs and presenting their new tech. Especially, you can learn a lot about AI and how they're being used on Twitter these days. And the LinkedIn is also really good, because LinkedIn has like a lot of community features and a lot of courses if you want to take them to stay engaged, learn, and see what other people are doing, and see what companies are looking for. Especially in Sri Lanka, LinkedIn is really popular with tech companies, so they're using it to recruitment, to see potential candidates. So that's very important. So, all right. So that's basically it for my session. I wanted to uh, tell you about the key actions you can take today. So start or update your portfolio. If you have a portfolio, start updating it. And if you don't have one, create one. Like at least have like your university projects on GitHub. Have your GitHub README up to date and engage in open source projects and stay active in the tech community. That's the only way with the new. So if you guys aren't aware, there are layoffs going on in a lot of places, and there are a lot of developers graduating without jobs. So this is how you can stay engaged in this industry right now. So focus on these things and focus on your portfolios. That's the best way to get traction. So finally, your portfolio is how you show your growth. So sometimes even if you have a job, your portfolio will tell a story, or you are staying like a single place, or are you improving. So focus on your portfolio, especially developers. Learn new tech, create open source projects, and contribute to open source. And finally, so if you guys have any questions and things like that, you can use the QR code provided earlier. And we will be doing a workshop in upcoming days, and we will be sending you guys like a small assignment to evaluate. And we will be hiring on the spot if there are good candidates next week. So you can stay engaged on TWC Innovations LinkedIn about that. And yeah, I'll go to the Q&A session now. I'll be checking it. So post your questions there.
Thank you, Mr. Navani Disanayake, for your insightful talk on career development. And now it's time for our interactive Q&A session. We've received some fantastic questions from you all, and our speaker is here to share his insights. Let's get started.
All right. So we have a couple of questions. I'll be going through them. Give me 1 second. All right. I hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the first question is open source contributions. Like, could you please recommend the best way to get into open source contributing again? So, okay. So there are two ways mainly. The easiest way is to go to Google and search Good First Issue. This is a website where you can search for GitHub repositories, especially projects you want to work on. Like you can say, okay, I know Python. So what can I like? How can I create a first issue? So when you say contributing to a project, I don't mean like code wise. You can create issues too. So you can go to a project and you can test it, and you can see, okay, this part is broken, and you can create an issue detailing how to reproduce it. So this is really important even when you join an organization. So you find an issue, you have to tell, okay, how do I reproduce this? So that's something like that you can do pretty easily. So good first issue is something uh, so you can do. And then how important is to complete slash display LinkedIn certificates. So this depend on the role you're applying, because for some network related fields, they will say, okay, I need, so they need like CCNA or some other certificate like Red Hat certificates. So you need to focus on where you want to apply. So certificates are always good, but it's not mandatory. And it's like if you have completed ones, always show them on LinkedIn. So that's good. Portfolio domain. Is it a must to have a custom domain for the portfolio? No, but since you guys are mostly in, I believe, IIT and any other university, as long as you have a university ID, you can go to Google and search for GitHub Student Pack. So GitHub Student Pack will give you like a domain. I think it's a XYZ domain for 1 year. So you can get this from your university ID or university email, and you will get uh, uh, custom domains, cloud credits, or things like that. Even the Copilot for free. So you don't have to pay for anything. You can use the free domain, or you can use like a whatever subdomain you get with Medium or whatever blogging platform you're going to use. Okay. Uh, yes, portfolio question is all good. And then we have a question called uploading group projects to GitHub. Could you elaborate on how to showcase our group projects that I contributed to done in the university on GitHub? All right, so if you have university projects, one of the best things you can do is do it from on the GitHub from the start. Like, let's say you're building like a mobile application, get all your team members on board and do it on GitHub. Don't like sometimes people do is they share code on WhatsApp or Discord or whatever, and finally when they want to showcase this, they upload it to GitHub. Like they drop the zip file. Don't do it. Use Git properly. When you use Git, let me show you something. Like if you go to GitHub and if you check like a repository, let's say something like TRPC, and you go here, you can see like how many contributors this project has. So if you want to say like in an interview, okay, I worked on this part, you can actually go to the repository itself and you can filter it. Like you can filter by user. So use Git from the start, and especially I can't emphasize this enough, use version controlling properly and learn how to use it. Like it's not something you will learn in like doing university. You have to engage in GitHub with your friends. Is there a specific format to write a commit message? No, clear and concise commit messages are enough. Like there are some ways, like this is a standard like show, refactor. There are standards, but it's not mandatory to start as long as you provide detailed commit messages in Git. That's enough. Like if, for instance, if you go here, you'll see that like some commit messages don't follow the standard, but it's fine. And they always add the detail. Like if you go to a commit, they will tell you like exactly what happens. See, so the commit messages and whatever they did, they document it. So yeah, that's what I meant. So don't worry about following a specific format. Structure for CV. Is there a specific method or structure to make a series? So yeah, usually nowadays you don't have to show your address and everything, and the order is really important. If you have work experience, put work experience first, then put your projects, and then put your education. And if you don't have work experience, put your projects first, and then put the education. Like always show your practical skills first. And sometimes people add like, okay, skills like teamwork or public speaking or things like that, but you don't have to put those before everything else. Like you can have those after that. And there are a lot of good resources you can follow to create a good CV, especially on Free Code Camp. Like if you go to Google and search for Free Code Camp developer CV, so there are a lot of guide on how to create like a good CV. Uploading prototype projects. Can we showcase prototype projects, for example, application using Figma to LinkedIn? Yes, but if you are talking about like Figma design and things like that, you can use Behance as well. Like you can go to Behance. That's a good way for UI UX developers. So you can showcase your ideas or things like that on Behance, and you can share the Behance link on LinkedIn, because lot of people check Behance if your work is related to UI UX. The next question is it required to add a picture of mine to the CV? No, it's not mandatory. If you want, you can add it. If you don't want to, you can do it. And if you want to like create a CV really easily and for free, there are sites like Flow CV, which is really good. So you can try something like this if you don't have like good designer skills. So the opportunities that exist in the area of data science depend on the company. So you have to pick like what sort of jobs you want to focus. Like some data scientists actually work as software engineers. So you have to decide which area you want to apply, and then decide what path you want to take. That's the only way you can find like which roles are available. No, currently TWC Innovation doesn't have like a full-on ML roles. We don't build machine learning algorithms from scratch at the moment, but we work on software engineering plus AI roles where you have to work with LLM agents. So yes, the next question is, can you please explain what is an ATS friendly system and how it works? So yeah, there are a couple of definitions, but usually what people use is chronological format. And so uh, so it lists your experience in like a chronological order, like what's the latest thing you worked on and the oldest thing. So you can actually research, like there are a lot of ways to build this. So you can decide how you want to structure this, the ATS friendly system. Right. So software quality assurance intern roles, they depend on the company. If the company has like let's say automated software quality assurance, they will ask you things like Selenium or uh, some other testing framework they are using. Or if the company has like manual testing, sometimes they won't ask for that. So it entirely depends on how which area you want to focus. And there are a lot of testing frameworks. Right. So assume we did some contributions. How can we showcase that we did so in our portfolios, GitHub and web? Right. So in your portfolio, let's say you go to one of these projects and you find an issue you can work on. Like you don't have to like something like this. So you find an issue, you ask the project contributors, and you work on that. And what you can do is you can create like when you do a commit, you can actually copy that link. So you can go here, you can copy the commit link here, view commit details. So this will give you a link. So if you have personal website or profile, you can say, okay, I contributed to TRPC on this feature. I fixed this problem. So you can showcase that directly if you want. It depends on the contribution actually. Right. So You can showcase your learning process in GitHub. Actually, if you go to GitHub and create a README. Now GitHub supports, if you search, go to Google and search GitHub README, GitHub profile README. So there are profile README generators you can use to create your profile. So you can add there, okay, I'm learning this stuff, I'm working on these prototypes, and you can put all your prototypes in like a single repository and manage it there. All right. So in TWC, we are using Versal SDK and MCP servers. Frameworks, no, we are experimenting with LangChain, but we are not using it at the moment. Mostly Versal SDK. Uh, is the machine learning the best module to learn from a university which has the bright future? I mean, I can't say actually, because you have to see the industry trends and decide. Right now it's the AI, but a lot of companies, they don't build AI models from scratch. So you might, even software engineers can perform most of the machine learning tasks, because the AI agent, like agentic frameworks and agent development like LangChain, uh, you don't build models from scratch. So you have to decide if that's the best for your future. So so cloud related internships depends on the current industry trends. So right now, there might be not of like there could be less jobs compared to software engineering and AI. So it changes from time to time. So you have to be ready with whatever you're focusing on. Like one of the most popular things is AWS certifications and things like Azure. So some companies have like 100% Microsoft stack. So they are look for Azure engineers. So it will be better if you focus on one area and highly specialize it. If you are focusing, like you can pick companies and you can focus on their roles, like job postings. So, or you have like comp TIA qualification and things like that. You can actually do to get like a generalized idea, but it's better if you can specialize in some field. Yes, so you have to check that AWS certifications. I'm not sure about AWS certification for free, but if you prepare for interview and get into like a AWS specialized company, they usually sponsor for your certification, so you don't have to pay for everything. So yeah, it depends. I believe, but you can get like the Azure certificate for free, at least the first one, through GitHub. Sorry, through your university. There is a program for Azure. You have to check for AWS, but usually it's employees will sponsor you. So yeah, so the way it is now, AI, the common consensus is that the AI is not going to replace you, but you will get replaced by a developer who is good at using AI. So we don't know how things will go in the future. At least now, uh, we don't know. But if you learn like web development, as in full stack development, really deeply with with deep knowledge instead of like using AI generated code, I think you will be your career will be safe. So yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not experienced in robotics, so you will have to do your own research there. Uh, as an example for the repository question, you can have like your GitHub repository like really fancy way. So this is a good example. If you guys want to redo your CV, portfolio, so you can have what you're working on currently and ask what areas you're interested in and how to contact you and your socials and your GitHub activities, languages and tools. If you have like research papers you on public journals, you can link them and you can pin your repositories like this, like whatever you want to highlight. So yeah, this stuff you can generate actually from like a GitHub CV generators. Yeah, I think that's it for the Q&A, guys. There aren't any questions left.
Thank you all for your thoughtful questions, and a huge thank you to our speaker for his insightful answers. We hope this discussion has provided valuable clarity on your career journey. On behalf of IEEE Computer Society and all participants, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, Mr. Navinda Disanayake, for sharing his expertise and providing invaluable career guidance today. Your insights are truly inspiring. This event wouldn't have been possible without the generous support of our partners. We'd like to extend our sincere appreciation to our title partner, PwC Innovations, for their invaluable contribution in making IndustPro 4.0 a success. We also extend our sincere gratitude to our knowledge partner, IFS, for their invaluable contribution and collaboration. Before we conclude, let's capture this moment with a group photo. Could everyone please turn on your cameras for a quick snapshot? It'll only take a moment and will be a great way to remember today's session. It would be great if everyone could switch on their cameras. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for participating in IndusPro 4.0. Your enthusiasm and engagement made this workshop a truly impactful experience. Before we conclude, here's what's coming next in IndusPro 4.0. Workshop 3, Branding for Impact. Learn how to master LinkedIn, personal branding, and networking strategies on the 15th of March. Make sure to follow us for updates and stay connected with our community of tech enthusiasts. Thank you once again for being a part of Workshop 2, Unveiling the Journey. We look forward to seeing you at our upcoming sessions. Until then, stay curious, stay ambitious, and keep building your future.